Okay, everyone, I have one more thing I want to show you about paragraph spacing. I think there's still a little bit of confusion and probably some frustration with this, and spacing is frustrating, but I want to show you a feature in here that may help with resolving an issue that you're having with paragraph spacing. So we are working with our internship letter, and if you remember from the assignment that we were supposed to set our spacing to no spacing in our document, and what that means is there's no spacing between our lines and there's no spacing between our paragraphs. So every place you see this little backwards P, that means that's a paragraph space, and we got that by hitting the Enter key on our keyboard. Now, when we worked with spacing in our week 3 assignment, we went to page layout, and under our paragraph group, we did before and after spacing right here. And what should happen is everywhere I have a paragraph return, and where my cursor sits, so my cursor sitting right in front, run it right in front of this paragraph return, if I put spacing in before, it's going to increase the space between this line and the paragraph return. And if I put spacing in after, it's going to increase the spacing after this paragraph return and before this paragraph right here. So if I do before, I should get spacing between Dear Miss Lombard and this paragraph return. And as you can see, that's what's happening. And if I do after spacing after this paragraph return, and I increase this, I get spacing after. So that's what spacing before and after a paragraph is supposed to do. Now sometimes, let me show you this. If I go to my little paragraph group and go to my dialog box here, sometimes this box gets checked right here. So this is my paragraph box under spacing, and this little box here gets checked, and it says don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. So just for a demonstration, I'm going to show you what that does. So let's move our cursor down here, and we're back at 0 spacing. And now when I try to increase my spacing before and after my paragraph return, nothing happens here, because under my paragraph group in the dialog box, this don't add space between paragraphs is checked. Now let me uncheck that and say OK, and see it automatically drops that spacing in now because I told it from my dialog box that it's okay to go ahead and add spacing. Now this is a weird thing, and I'm not quite sure what happens to cause this to get checked sometimes, but if you are having trouble moving your paragraph spacing, check that little box under your paragraph dialog box and make sure that this is unchecked. If it's checked, watch what happens to my spacing over here. It takes my spacing out. It'll go back in. I'm going to uncheck this, say OK, and it puts my spacing back in again. That's just one of those quirky little things in Microsoft Word.